Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Captain Creativity. I am your host, David Merel. Today we are going to unbox the Anycubic Kobra 3 combo unit. Now, some of you have seen me do this review at Rapid TCT, but I haven't done an unboxing and a setup myself. The question is, am I gonna find the same printing experience as what I witnessed at Rapid TCT? And are we gonna find that this really does belong in your home, your lab, or your maker space? So stay tuned after this.
Welcome to the show that sets your mind free. Tech and gadgets, 3D surprise. Captain Creativity. With David's guiding light, inventions spark and take their flight.
Before we dive into this unboxing, I just wanted to make a statement that I bought this 3D printer with my own money. Anycubic is not sponsoring this in any way or form. They did not send this to me for free. They did not ask me to do the review. Everything in my channel, unless I say otherwise, I buy with my own money, which is why it's so important that you guys subscribe to our channel. The proceeds from my channel go to charity. I like to donate 3D printers as well as other STEM products to schools all around the country, wherever I can, and so it's a big deal if you subscribe, so please do so. Okay, let's dive in. Nicely packed. We have the print head, manual, screws, spool holder, cable, power cord, nice LCD screen, 4.3 inches.
Nice.
If I had to guess, that looks like the nozzle wiper. Okay, so this is crazy. This is nuts. Hold on. Don't tell me that this thing is totally pre-assembled. Oh my God, this thing is pre-assembled. The whole thing is pre-assembled. I've never seen anything packaged like this before. Oh my God. Look at that. That is crazy. Wow, look at this. The whole thing is pre-assembled, ready to go. Just pull out the foam. I think the only thing similar to this might have been the Bamboo A1 Mini, but this is 250 by 250 by 260 millimeter. This is 600 millimeters per second. I don't think you're gonna go ahead and print at 600 millimeters per second. Realistically, expect somewhere like about 300 millimeters per second or so. This can actually print PLA, PETG, and TPU apparently. The Ace Pro only supports PLA, PETG, ABS, ASA, PET, PA, PC, PP, and HIPS. So as of right now, do not even consider putting TPU through the Ace Pro. Okay? It comes with all the auto leveling calibrations you would expect from something like a Bamboo. So it's got auto leveling, the vibration suppression, flow control, automatic hotbed leveling, Z-axis free compensation. Very nice, beautiful. Okay, so it looks like pretty much everything is all set to go. You just basically have to start working on putting the wires and connecting them to the right places. So let's take a look at their instruction materials and see how simple it is to actually put this thing together. Okay, another thing I really like, everything is numbered. Every bag here has a number to it. So when you're going through the different steps, you can follow number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and so on. So I give them a lot of props for that. That is actually really impressive. So the first thing that they're gonna ask us to do is we are going to proceed in printing. We're gonna connect the print head cable. And this is, press the print head cable down and insert it into the groove above the print head.
What?
First of all, by the way, I think this is really interesting. We're connecting the print head through a USB-C cable. And then you'll notice over here that we are gonna take this cable and we're gonna put it into this hole right over there. And then what we're gonna then do is push that in, and then we're gonna take bag number 1 and screw it in here and here. So we have to find bag number 1, right over there, nice and labeled. And they even tell you in the directions exactly what Allen wrench you're gonna use. So we're gonna use 1.5 millimeters Allen wrench. And what we're gonna do over here is we're gonna screw them right into the side. So basically they don't want that USB-C cable coming loose. So it's just so interesting that they use that rather than a data ribbon that we've always seen with other printers. I think that's kind of interesting. So now that step 2 is complete, step 1, sorry. Now that step 1 is complete, we are now going to place the print head right here onto the print head holder. So I am gonna bring this guy a little closer, and I'm gonna move it out here, and it's gonna go just like that. And where we're gonna screw the hole of the screws, they're gonna go right on the other side. And I'm gonna show you exactly right now where those are gonna go. So if you take a look, they're gonna go right here and right here, 1 and 2. And we're gonna put those in, and we're gonna use these M3 screws. Now we have to find bag number 2. Here it is, and it even says for print head. Unreal. Love it. Okay. And actually there are 4 screws that you actually have to put in. So I'm gonna just show you that. Again, so you have to put them in here, 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 and here. Okay? So when it's gonna go, it's gonna go right up like this. Okay, you're gonna hook it in, line it up, and you're gonna put those screws in those 4 spots. Here we go, 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench. And let's get going. So this is where it could be a little bit tricky. Let's see if we can move this down in any way. I don't want to mess things up here. Okay, so my tip is that when you get to this step, turn down over here the Z-axis rod right by the bottom here, as you can see, and just move it down a little bit so that you can get access. Because if it's all the way up, you're just not going to get that clear access, and it's going to be much harder for you to screw these in. By the way, another tip that you could do is you could actually just screw this in right now, the top 2, here and here. If it's easier for you, just screw it right here on the top, just a little bit, so that it's already in, and then that way it's ready to just be hooked in like that. And now you can tighten it. So that is now hooked up, nice and tight, which is good. Okay, good. We are now ready to move on to step number 3. So now we just have to install the screen. So there's a data ribbon right over there, and we are going to connect that right into the LCD screen. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to take away this blue tape on the side. Okay. And we're going to first screw in from bag number 3. It says for touch screen. We're going to use that same Allen wrench of 2.5 millimeters. I'm just going to load them. I'm going to load in one right now. And we're going to connect them to these two holes on the side to connect it right over there. So as you could see, I am putting that in. All right, so you can actually pivot the LCD, which is nice. And so now what they're saying is when installing the data cable, that you want to make sure that this part over here, where it says facing up, so we're going to do exactly what it says. And that's it. And you push it in right over there. When you're doing it, this side up goes right there. You see? So it should be saying this side up, and that's where you connect that data cable. Okay, now that we're done with step number 3, we are now going on to number 4. Insert the motor cable upward into the bottom of the groove on the left side of the x-axis, and we're going to tighten it. Okay, so they're talking about the other orange cable over here. Okay, so this cable over here. So what they want you to do with that is it's time for us to connect it over here. All right, and what you're going to do, you see that clip part over here? It's going to clip it just like that. Okay, there you go. So now that's been connected. Okay, and now, number 5, we have to install the cable Hodor?
Hodor! Hodor! Hodor!
I think they mean holder. Hodor! Okay, press the down, press the down cable holder, now they got it right, to secure it to the groove on the left side of the x-axis. Okay, press the print cable into the cable holder. So there is your cable holder, okay? And you're going to place it just like that, okay? So that's where that goes. And then the next thing is we want to start kind of organizing these cables here, right? So this is where, so basically, oh man, this is so intuitive. Okay, cool, look, they actually put collars so that you can press it in just like that. And so that you know where everything is supposed to go. That's really smart. I really like that. Okay, and now we have to install the purge wiper. So they say we're supposed to turn it on its back side over here. I think it's right over there. Right behind here. There you go, right there. So the opposite side of the cable Hodor. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. You know, just to be fair, the instructions are fantastic. You can't expect perfection on everything, okay? I'm just having fun with it, all right? Anyway, okay, install the purge wiper. All right, so this is your purge wiper over there, okay? And we're gonna actually go to bag number 4, which has just 2 screws in there. And the one that is the smaller one is going to go into this hole over here. All right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to just show you how this gets hooked up. And there's a guide. You see these little pins over here, and that's going to have to line up in such a way, probably like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, just like that. Okay, so that's how you're going to do it. You're going to take you're going to go ahead and take your spool holder, just like this, and put it in. And then again, there's these pins that will line it up for you so that you don't make that mistake. Okay? And then as I said, over here, once you put it in, you're going to put the smaller of the 2 screws into that back. And we're going to use, this time, a 2.0 millimeter Allen wrench. Okay, so M3 by 8 will go there. We're going to push that, the larger of the screws, it's going to go straight up, okay? And that's how we're going to do it. We're going to do that again with the same Allen wrench. Okay, so that's on pretty well. All right, so the purge wiper is now done. And now it's about installing the filament tube. And they say if you're going to be printing in multiple colors, they're saying, okay, skip this step. So if you're going to be using the Ace Pro, you're not going to do this. And because we are doing the combo, we wouldn't do it. But I do want to just show you what we would be doing. Basically, if we were to only get the Kobra 3 without the Ace Pro, you would basically be putting it here, which is actually quite representative of what we saw on the A1 Mini and most likely the A1. And then the other side is going to go right into this part right over there. So we're not do that now because we are going to install the Ace Pro. So we're going to skip this step. And then the next step is just installing the spool holder. And that's an easy step. That's very basic. You're just going to take these two parts over here. And basically, this part of the holder, the spool holder, and then the arm, you're going to put it in. You see where the unfinished side is and the finished side is here? You're going to put it in like so. And you're just going to twist it till you hear a click. And then once that's done, that is going to end up going right here on the back, and it actually slides right on, and I'm going to show you that. The open end is going to be facing outwards, and you just slide it just like that. And you do that only if you're going to be using it just by itself, the Kobra 3. So because we're using the Ace Pro, we are going to not use this. So we're going to put that to the side. So you would be, if you're doing the combo, the next step is to go to the Ace Pro. So we have now set up the Kobra 3 by itself. And just as something I want you to be aware of, if you're buying the Kobra 3 unit, you could do it completely, you could buy it by itself. And it goes for about $339. The thing is that the Ace Pro by itself is $289. So if you were to buy these things separately, you're going to end up paying $628. The combo price is $449. I will tell you that if you even think there's a remote possibility you're going to print in multicolor filament, I highly recommend going with the combo unit because it just doesn't make sense to buy these things separate. That's just my opinion. So now we're going to install the next part, which is the Ace Pro, the multi-filament dispenser. So you're going to go to step number 9. And basically, we're going to need here this cable. And one side, you'll notice, has 6 pins on it. And one side of it has 4 pins on it. And so what we're going to do is the 4-pin is actually going to go on the front of the unit, and that is going to be located right over here. So there's this little rubber gasket that you're going to pull away, like so, and then you're going to go ahead and install this 4-pin right into there. So if we turn the Ace Pro around here, you'll notice that right next to, right on this side over here, you're going to see one port is for an extension for another Ace Pro. Because remember, this as of right now, the system can support upwards of 8 colors. So unlike the Bamboo Mini or the A1, so unlike those other Bamboo printers that could support 12 colors, this one can only support 8 colors. Now, on the other side, you're going to plug into the 6-pin connector, which will be located on the back of the Ace Pro. We're also going to go ahead and plug in now the power cord right, which is located right over here. You're also going to want to go ahead and do that and plug it into the unit itself, the Kobra 3. That's why it comes with 2 of these 3-prong power cords, okay? So the next thing is we're going to open up our case here, and we're going to take out this bag of tubes. Now, if you recall, the filament holder, or the tube holder, whatever you want to call it, we have 4 of these cables, and what needs to happen here is that we have to actually go ahead and slide these right into the filament holder. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So this is where we're going to install our 4 filaments holders, just like so. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the back side. Now we're going to install these 4 over here into the print head. So we're going to plug them in just like that. Now you're going to want to organize this, just kind of pull them through, make it as neat as possible. And they actually come with clips to help organize the wires. And we're going to do that in just a moment. Now, one thing that's important, you're actually going to want to place this on the left side of the unit. The reason why we're going to actually move the Ace Pro to the left side of the unit is because the cables from the filament holder are going to actually come down through here, and we're going to now connect them on the back side over here. So you could actually see how all those cables are going to go into these 4 holes. And I'm going to demonstrate that right now, where I'm going to start connecting them, each one into its respective hole. So one thing that was not in the instructions is that these things came with these blue clips. And I have to tell you, they're very difficult to get in. So in order to get these blue clips out, you're going to pull back out on these filament inputs, and then you can take the blue clip out. You can then go ahead and insert it back in, bring it back out again, and if you want, you can go ahead and basically just put the blue clip back on if you so choose. I don't know if I don't think you need to put these blue clips back on. You could probably leave them off if you want to, but if you do want to put them back on, you're going to just kind of pull this back out again, but don't pull out your tube, of course, and then you could try to kind of slip them back on. I found it to be a little bit hard to do that, so I think I'm just going to leave them off and hope for the best. Now, if this happens, which it has happened to me, it's not a big deal. You could just pull them off, stick that back in, and then go ahead and place it right in there, just like that. So once they're in, they really are pretty much in there. I do not believe you need to put the blue clips back in. I'm not exactly sure why these blue clips came in or why they're here, but they do actually, they are suctioned on. So, you know, they're once you slip them in, they're nice and tight. So I just don't see the need for them, but, you know, just wanted to show you that part. At this part, we now have the Ace Pro hooked up. We're going to put the power cord on as well. Okay. And then we're going to turn that on. We're also going to go ahead and put some organizer clips. Basically, we just snap those onto the tubes, and it just keeps everything nice and tidy. That's really its only purpose. There's no real functionality to them. So you just put those on, and they'll just kind of make everything look a little bit more organized. Okay, so now at this step, we're going to just make sure that everything on the Cobra 3 is set to go. And this is when we're going to just tighten up the belts and make sure, because sometimes when you get something out of the box and it comes from the factory, sometimes things are a little bit looser than they're supposed to be. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your print head really doesn't shake. I mean, obviously, if you pull it back and forth, it's going to move, but you don't want it to really be wiggling on the frame. And so mine is actually pretty tight, but I'm going to show you right now what you're going to do if you find that your print head is kind of wiggling. And you're going to use this wrench over here, and I'm actually going to take a zoomed in approach of what you're going to do. And you are going to take this and put it right over here, and then you tighten it to the right, and then that will make it a little bit tighter. I am happy with it, so I am not going to do that, but I just wanted to show you exactly where it is. Okay, the next thing that we want to go ahead and check, is to make sure that the bed is nice and tight. And so this bed has a tension belt, and there's a knob right here in the front. And so as they say, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So you're going to have to, if you want it to get a little tighter, you're going to turn that knob to the right. You also don't want your bed to be shaking. And my bed is not shaking. I'm pretty happy with it. But if it does shake, you're going to also go underneath the bed and tighten it. And I'm going to show you now how that is done. So if you go under here, you'll notice that you could go with the other side of your wrench, and you could go right under here. And basically, you would get it onto that bolt and then tighten it to the right. Now we are connecting to our Wi-Fi. We've entered our password in, and we're good to go. Here, I'm going to go ahead and try to direct that. Hit next. And so at this point, we're going to now, oh, actually, you know what? Let me remove this beautiful protective cover. And at this point now, you're going to go ahead and you want to bind it with your app. Okay, so now we're here, and basically we can now hit Add Printer, and we can hit Scan through the app, and we're going to, we're going to go ahead and scan that code. Anycubic Kobra 3 is right there. So we're going to hit Complete. And now our printer is in our app. Really cool. So we're going to hit Next. Enjoy your 3D printing. And now what it wants you to do is insert the thumb drive that came with the printer. So why don't you go, we're going to go ahead and now insert that thumb drive and the USB stick. Here we go. And we're going to take that thumb drive and we're going to plug it right as it says, right into here. Okay. So we'll plug that in and let's see what it does. So right away it's going to start. As you can see here, it's going to now start the calibration process. And so it's going through the X-axis detection, the Y-axis detection, and then the Z-axis detection or Z-axis detection. So it's going to now perform this self-test process. And this is all part of that calibration to hone in all that detail, all those settings to make sure that your prints come out nice and perfectly. Now this process could take quite a while. So usually at this point, I usually say, don't leave the room, stand by, and just watch, to make sure that there are no problems. Okay, at this part of the test, it's going to now do a resonance test. So it's very important at this point that when you place the printer smoothly, which basically it means that don't shake the table. So this is when it's going to do the compensation for all the vibrations and everything. So it's very important that at this phase, you definitely do not want to be shaking the table, moving the table. Don't do anything that's going to screw up it detecting the vibrations. Another thing you want to do when you set up your printer is make sure you update the firmware accordingly. There's going to be a firmware that's available for the Ace Pro, and there's going to be a firmware that's available for the Kobra 3. You could do that through the mobile app very easily, and I'll instruct you to do so. I would usually go ahead and update the Kobra 3 first, and then do the Ace Pro second. Okay, so now what we're going to do over here is we're going to put a fresh roll of filament in here so that we get a good, accurate test, because I want to do a Benchy now. Open up the lid, and there's holes right over here. And all I'm going to do is load my roll in, and I'm using PLA Plus, just so you know. So I'm going to hit print. Well, first we can look. We can see that one is loaded up. You see, it's right there. I'm going to hit 1, and I can extrude it. I can retract it. I could turn on the dryer switch, which is kind of cool. I guess if I click that on, oh, so cool. Look at that. I can actually say PLA, and I can actually dry out that setting. Now, I know this is a fresh bag. I don't need to do that right now. I can also specify which one of these spools is my filament backup. I was looking for this setting, and I'm so happy they have that here, so that if you are printing something that is going to take multiple spools, let's say it's a pretty large print, you're going to want to turn that on, and so you can have 2 blacks, 3 blacks, 4 blacks, or whatever color you're choosing, and as soon as it runs out, it kicks over to the next one. So you're actually specifying that this roll is a filament backup. We don't need that for this test here, but that is really, really great. We are going to go get a speed Benchy, 11 minutes. Okay, that's a good one. So let's hit print. And then they tell you, okay, what color do you want? So here we'll choose a color. I'm going to say it is red. Confirm, confirm. And now we're going to go back. I'm going to hit print. Okay, so that's what okay, so this is what it wants me to do. It wants me to assign it a color when it's in there, which I can understand if you're doing a backup or something like that, but fine. So I'm going to hit print. I'm going to pull this USB stick out. We don't need that anymore. And let's see how it goes. Okay, so that is done. It took about 13 minutes and 38 seconds. Very nice. Pretty good, actually. You know, definitely not perfect, but considering the speed, it's actually really good. I mean, I just see that like one line over here. And then over here at the overhang, I see that could have been a little bit better. There's some stringing there. But honestly, for a high-speed bench, I mean, this is unreal for something of that time frame. So now I'm going to do one of a higher quality, and we're going to do the standard Benchy, and then we're going to be able to compare. All right, so let's take these guys off. Let's see how it looks. Now that's perfection. Take a look at that. That is pretty, except for this, but that you just take right off. No, that is a beautiful print. You can definitely tell the difference between these two. And this is the high speed. This is the regular speed. And it actually took 42 minutes and 18 seconds for this Benchy. But it does come out beautifully. Here it is in the front, side, back. Now, one of the things I actually thought was just so cool was, again, setting up your Ace Pro is really simple. And again, you just have to click through the mobile app. The mobile app is actually quite user-friendly. I also love the fact that I could just start drawing my filament so simply, just clicking PLA plus and then say, okay, that's it. And now it's just gonna start drawing my filament right from the mobile app. And that's just amazing. I love that. And it's gonna just, and then once it's done, it's just gonna stop drawing. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and test out the Anycubic software on my PC. Okay, so we are here in the AnycubicSlicer version 1.4.4. I've upgraded all my firmware, and let's go through the interface. It has all the basic features from laying on face, scale, mirror, layout, cut, paint on supports. I guess that's for seam painting. And then color painting, obviously, because it's a multi-color 3D printer, right? So we also have this section here called Workbench, and it's going to have all your different printers in here, and you could do all kinds of different settings, such as defining what your colors are going to be for your printer. You could see here that the drawing is turned on. It tells you what the temperature is inside the box, and then gives you some controls for the printer. If you do have a camera installed at one of the front USB ports, you'll be able to stream the camera and see what's going on, so that's pretty neat. And they also have this section over here that if you want, you can upload a 3D model taken from JPEG, JPG, PNG, and WebP formats. So that's pretty neat. So if you want to go ahead and if you took a 3D photo and you put it in here, you'll be able to print it, which is pretty neat. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out their online world called MakerOnline. It's a pretty, similar to a lot of other platforms, like, Bamboo has their own world of 3D prints, and they do have this ability here that you can kind of bring it right to the slicer. That hasn't worked for me all the time, but I have downloaded these files separately. And one thing I am actually quite excited about, but I'm going to dive more into, is this ability of being able to use these 3MF files, because 3MF files are these project files, which are really good. I don't know what happens when you have multiple plates and how that's going to work in a slicer that doesn't have multiple plate capability. At least I don't see any ability to add multiple plates. So exactly how that's going to work, I do not know. But what I am happy about is the fact that it could import what I'm hoping is people who've painted the colors already on, so you could download it and the colors are already associated. So for example, if I'm doing this Mario Brother Funko Pop, and the mustache is already painted black, and the gloves are already painted white, and the overalls are already painted blue, and so on and so forth. So with that being said, let's go ahead now and import that 3MF file. And there it is. Okay, so this is what's weird. I've actually seen this error before. I don't really seem to understand it. I've had this on multiple files that I've downloaded directly, and it just doesn't like them. So I'm definitely interested to hearing why this is a problem. I keep getting this problem. So if you have any ideas, please put them in the comments below. So let's just go with a body right now. We'll go from there. So if we wanted to import a body, and now we wanted to paint it, let's see how easy that is. Let's say I want the buttons to be yellow. So we have circle, we have triangle, we have, ooh, smart fill. I like that. Okay, that's actually really, really cool. So over here you could see that you could really put on white on the gloves there. There it is, white on the gloves. What is Mario? Let's see. Okay, so it's blue. Ah, I see. In order to really print Mario, I'm gonna need more colors, but I'm just gonna do a test run here. You know what? He's kind of like less Mario, more Mickey. So, all right, so this is fine. I'm happy with this, and now I'm going to say, let's slice it. All right, so I guess we're ready to go. Now, this is what's kind of crazy about this. The total time is 1 day, 1 hour. That is insane. All right, that's what it wants me to do. I mean, if that's what it wants me to do, that's what it wants me to do. But yeah. All right, so remote print. Okay, that looks great. Yep, available printer and start print. All right, so it's going to upload now the G code, send it over to the printer. You know, we're going to let this go. And then I guess in a day, which I'm having a hard time believing this is going to really run a day. But apparently in about a day, this little figure is going to be finished.
Happy, happy, happy. Happy, 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 happy.
No, God, no. The poop. So much. So to my horror, I came in and found out that my multicolored print had failed. It got this far, and after that, it went kaput. It looks like it didn't stick to the bed. I certainly could have used glue on it, but this was a brand new, clean sheet. I don't know why it would not have stuck, but it says here that I now have, it says extrusion abnormal. Please roll 4 spools back above the print head and click resume. I am not going to do that because I'm pretty sure this is dead. And it kind of failed somewhere at 88%. I think that ultimately it felt that something wasn't right. It should have stopped earlier, but lo and behold, it didn't work. So upon further investigation, I did notice that number 2 clearly retracted or broke within here. It looks like it definitely snapped. Now, why it snapped, I don't know. Again, that I was using here a brand new unused PLA Plus. That is definitely very unfortunate. I'm not sure where it broke. I mean, I do see some yellow in the tube, so I know that it definitely broke at some point. And now I'm going to take out the tube on the back and pull out the remaining filament. So in conclusion, what do I think about the Anycubic Kobra 3? Well, I think it depends on who you are and what you're using it for. I had a week to really go through this printer, and overall the Kobra 3 by itself is a very good printer. I do like the Kobra 3. I think it would make a great addition to a classroom environment, home, or makerspace. But when it comes down to the Ace Pro, that's a different matter. First of all, the Ace Pro, when it comes to multicolor filament, I think that the fact that it actually tries to detect the color, I think that's so cool. But I love it as a dryer box. I love it as a backup filament solution. And I really found it to be one of the simplest loading solutions, which is great for kids, great for classrooms, easy for makers. It was just so simple. You just pop it in and it's done. I know that on the AMS, the original AMS from Bamboo, you have to kind of pull back on it and push it through. Didn't really like it. I also found that if there was an issue and you did have to take out your filament, I found it easier to clear any kind of issue from the Ace Pro than from the competitors. Now that's not to say that the newer version of the AMS, which is the AMS Lite, that's actually relatively easy and I do like it. But obviously you can see it's like this enormous thing and the rolls are all exposed. So I give them a lot of props for creating this 4 filament holding, active drying, color matching solution. And so at the end of the day though, when it came down to multicolor printing, here's what I'm gonna say. Printing in color is just a waste. It's so wasteful. I mean, this took an hour. It took an hour. This is ridiculous. Just because, and it was just 2 colors, and it took an hour. That's not normal. This is not normal. For something this big, look how much waste. That is insane. That is a lot of waste. That's from one print. And by the way, I did find out why that first print didn't work for me. I screwed up. I was doing something in the slicer. For some reason, it was set to 3D photo, and it wasn't set to normal. So the infill was almost like 100%. Why the yellow filament crapped out on me, I don't know. But when I did it again with the normal settings, it was fine. But still, look how much waste there is. There's a lot of waste. And I'm just gonna say like this, is that, I mean, to 3D print something and then have it take 9 hours as opposed to an hour, it just seems silly. Yes, they're kind of cool when they come out, but just think of how much you're wasting. So listen, if you're an individual maker and money's no object and you don't have a problem just getting rolls and rolls and rolls of filament, fine. Go for it. It's gonna look cool and it's awesome. And I think this is a great machine for you for that purpose. I don't think I'm gonna be using it for that purpose. Personally, I'm gonna use this for backup. I love the fact that when I'm in a classroom setting, I like my colors ready to go. So I love the fact that I can have my blue, my red, my white, my yellow already loaded and ready to go to start printing. That's what I'm gonna use it for. The fact that it's also an active dryer, that's bonus. And I know today there are active dryers with 4 chambers that basically cost over $100 and it doesn't even do anything else. So the fact that you're getting a 4-chamber active dryer, plus it works with the 3D printer and has the easy load functionality, then, you know, that's great. So I definitely recommend that if you are gonna buy the Anycubic Kobra 3, I think it's silly not to buy it with the Ace Pro. I think the combo makes sense. Economically, it makes sense. You definitely don't wanna buy this down the road after buying the Kobra 3 because you're just throwing out money. Anyway, that's all I got for today. And thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe.